Hello everyone, welcome to the Logic Gate Show. This is a quiz show where tech meets fun. We have 15 questions related to automation and IoT, and we have special guests who are coming us today and answering these questions. And based on their performance, they will get a special prize. So this show is more similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but with a cooler guest. And our prize is sponsored by Seed Studio. So today the sponsor is Seed Studio, and they have sponsored us a product which is Recomputer. All right, this product I have been using in the last days, and this is a very robust edge controller, which can be used as a PLC or as an HMI. You can deploy a Node-RED dashboard on it. So a couple of cool stuff you can do with that. And if you're watching this show, you can also participate and win this prize. I'm going to tell you later on how you can do that, okay? So without much delay, let's welcome our first guest, who is the managing director of PLCopen. And if you know PLCopen, they are the legends. They are making PLC programming easy by offering standards. We'll hear more about that from our first guest. So welcome Roeland on the show. Roeland, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you, Rajvir. It's an honor to be honored as a first guest, introduced as a VIP, and I just heard the word legend.
Yes.
I'm having fun already.
We're going to have a lot of fun. This is a fun quiz show, but there will be some difficult questions which you may need to think about, but I'll help you on the way how you can find the answers. All right. And just to let you know, we have a mega prize. I just announced that we have a mega prize, which is a Recomputer from Seed Studio. But this prize, we are going to give it away to the audience. So audience can also participate and win this prize. But for you, we have another special gift hamper that's called Code and Coffee. So Code and Coffee is a gift hamper specially from Code and Compile. And we are going to present this to all the VIP guests. So in the end, you still have something, but not this mega prize, but Code and Coffee package.
Might be more than I deserve.
So also just want to let the audience know how do we met each other. So we met each other last year in SPS. And it was very interesting because Roeland was quite intrigued by knowing me and wanted to work with me. And then he asked me, hey, let me add you on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, sure. Just put up your phone and say, okay, to search my name. It came up R-A-J, that the way you type, and my name popped up. And the first response from you was, motherfucker. I was like, what?
Gushy, 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 mishy, mushy, mushy, motherfucker.
It was a kind motherfucker, though, right?
Yeah, I know. But why were you surprised?
Well, I thought that Rajvir, I haven't looked it up yet on the internet, but okay. I think there are millions and millions of them.
That's true.
So I did not expect to have the Rajvir Singh after 3 letters you pop up.
Okay.
So I was kind of impressed with the reach you have on LinkedIn.
All right, thank you.
And then the footprint. Yeah.
That's very kind. I mean, yeah, I'm just doing this since years, and I'm just coming up good in the algorithm. And then I was really, really impressed by your souvenir that you gave me, PLC opener. I still have it with me. So I thought, okay, I'll open up a beer when you win the show today.
That's always a good one. Maybe if I lose, you still need to do it.
I will make sure I will try to make sure that you don't lose, because the logic of the game, this show, is that everybody wins the show. So we will see. You can try to lose, but I will not let you lose. All right. So are you ready for the show? Should we begin?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. Then let's do it. So let me just switch the screens. There you go. That's your final prize that you're going to get in the end. So in the beginning, I'll just explain you about the show. What is the content? How you're going to answer the show. So let's begin with... Let me open the Logic Gate show, where every logic passes through the gate. All right. So in this show, you will have 15 questions. And I have tried to create these questions in a way that explains PLCopen. So it will give you also an opportunity to talk about PLCopen, which I was not sure about when I met you. Okay. So you will be having 15 questions, and every question is giving you some emojis. All right, there's no million euros here, but you have million emojis. But you can use these emojis to get the presents in the end. All right. So Just like the show Who Wants to Be Millionaire, you have emojis from 100 to 1 million, and every question gives you a certain amount of emojis. And there are 3 lifelines that you will have, which will help you to answer your question. So first one is 50-50. You can see on the top one. And then you have audience poll and double dip. So 50-50 is going to remove 2 incorrect answers. And audience poll, there is no audience here, but we have some bots here who's going to help you with the question. They can give you some probability of which could be the right answer.
We have an AI audience.
We have a bot inside, so who's going to help you out with the
Yeah.
questions? This AI world, we can't get rid of them.
Robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge.
And then you have a double dip. In double dip, you can give 2 answers. So one of them has to be the correct answer. All right. So
Okay.
that's the rules. And we can shortly begin. Let me hide this money tree. So, are you ready? Or do you have any questions?
No questions. I'm all up for it. Let's
All
go.
right, then I have a lot of
Right.
questions. Let's do it. All right, so let's begin with the first question.
Yep.
The first question is, what global challenge does PLCopen aim to solve in industrial automation? Your options are A, making coffee machines smarter, B, standardizing programming, C, cloud gaming, or D, launching PLCs into space.
Oof.
Very difficult one, right?
Yeah, cloud gaming is just too risky.
Okay.
You know, you can lose your connection.
Game over. I will not do it.
No, I think since quite a few years, my predecessor has been working on standardizing programming, which may be a bit boring, but it may also result in us launching PLCs into space in the end, because it makes us all cooperate and innovate and make progress.
That's true. You never wonder
Yeah.
that PLC is being used in the space. They're being used in the missiles or the rockets.
They're already there. You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think is the
Yeah.
correct answer?
I will go with the boring standardizing programming.
All right, let's see. That's the correct answer. You won 100 emojis. So talking about standardizing programming, how do you do that in PLCopen?
Well, there is a global standard for PLC programming. It's and there are different kinds of levels.
Okay.
The IEC organization handles these large standardizations, and the IEC 61131-3 gets talks about just a few languages, because you are a smart programmer and you can use all kinds of programming languages and dialects and ways to program your PLC, but as soon as someone else comes in, he doesn't know what you did. He needs to figure it all out. You need to train them.
Okay.
So what we want to do is create interoperability and make sure that everyone knows how it works. Make it as easy as you can.
Okay, that's great. So these standards, you also have it on your website. Somebody can look it up and see how you're doing it, I believe.
Absolutely. PLCopen does not aim to make money. We are an association, so we are not even allowed to make money.
Oh,
and we are fully focused on improving the industry.
Okay.
So if you're a student or you're a senior, it doesn't matter. You can go to our website and check out all the specifications that we have created and download them free.
Oh, that's great. I will check it out later on. And I'm pretty sure when you said you're not allowed to make money, that's why I put emojis here. I don't put euros here. That was the reason of the show.
That's it. I get paid in emojis.
All right, moving on to the second question. Which programming standard is most closely linked to PLCopen's mission? So your options are A, Python, B, JavaScript, C, IEC 61131-3, or C++?
There you go. I might have jumped the gun
Yeah.
on the explanation of question 1. Because, because these are Python, JavaScript, and C++ are these the languages I don't know about because I'm also new in the industry.
Okay.
And all our specifications actually are based on the IEC 61131-3.
All right, so no reason to ask this question. You know the answer, IEC?
I do.
That's great. Correct answer, you won 200 emojis. All right, moving on. These are the easiest question. Hang on, there will be a difficult one later on.
Yeah. I'm getting nervous already for the end.
All right. Why is standardization in PLC programming important? Okay. Your options are: it makes engineers rich overnight. B, ensure compatibility. C, helps robots to sing. Or D, replace humans with robots.
Ooh, that's AI, right? That's AI is going to replace humans with robots.
That's 100%.
So, on the other end, you could control your robot from your PLC, but let's say that's AI.
Yeah.
What we will never do is make engineers rich overnight because we will have no one to improve the world and to maintain our factories. So we'll never make the engineers rich overnight.
Oh my God.
So it's either C or B.
C or B? Oh, yeah. Well, today's robots can also sing. I have seen many videos about that. And there could be standards behind that.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, now I wonder what you are.
I mean, you always have lifelines when you are stuck somewhere.
I do have the lifeline. But I'm also scared that because I want to start with a 50-50, that if you push a button, that answer B get left.
You are, in the end, you have to decide.
I'll just take a chance on it. I'll take a gamble. I'll go for the 50-50.
50-50. All right, so let's take, let me show you first the lifelines you have here. You chose 50-50, right? Okay. Then let's use 50-50. There you go.
There you go.
I didn't do anything, you know, it's just the computer.
I don't believe you anymore up here.
I didn't do anything.
Don't believe you. I'm just gonna blindly pick.
I told you we have bots inside. Maybe they are hearing you and trying to trick you in between.
I think so. Your bots are a little bit too smart for me. You know, I'll go for B.
B? All right. B. My instincts also say it's B. Let's check it out. Ensure compatibility. That's correct. 300 emojis, Roland. You already used one lifeline. No worries. Let's see the next question.
I still have you as a backup lifeline, right?
Okay. Which of the following is not one of the IEC 61131-3 programming language? Not, okay?
Yes.
First option A, ladder diagram. B, structure test. C, function block diagram. Or D, pie chart. You're not allowed to cheat. Don't open ChatGPT, okay? Next to you. I can see your eyes.
Because you know, I'm not from the industry. I'm not a programmer myself, so you're making it hard on me. But as I was allowed in a project room with the new edition that will be released in the coming months for the 61131-3 specification.
Cool.
And we were actually talking about the languages that are being used, that are allowed to be used. And there are now just 4 languages that we are allowed to use. So on top of this, we have a sequential function chart as a 4th language. And instruction list, which was always in the IEC standard, has been demoted. So they took it out of the expectation. Yeah.
Okay.
So quite nice. This one I know by without even cheating. I'll go for D. Pie chart.
D, pie chart. All right, let's have a look. Correct answer. Pie charts we use in graphic visualizations, usually to depict the data. All right, moving on with the next question. What kind of device is the Recomputer from Seed Studio? Okay, your options
Yes.
are A, a retro desktop computer, or B, Bluetooth speaker, C, home gaming console, or D, edge device for AI and IoT.
Well,
This
I
is a
don't
tricky
see.
one.
It is a tricky one because it's all black, and I don't have a high definition camera, so it just might be a Bluetooth speaker. But you are too excited about it. You're too excited about it to be that. So it must be a home gaming console, right?
Oh yeah,
Or
I would love to play games with that if I could.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think you can. I think you can. However, I don't know Seed myself. I do recognize the product, and I think that's if you are a little bit smarter than I am and you know a little bit more about programming than I do, this is a great tool to have some fun with and do some experiments by yourself.
100%.
Yeah. So you're gonna need some AI and IoT in there to do it. So I'll go for answer D.
Sorry, I have to put this question. It's a sponsor-related question. Sponsor integration, you know, in the shows you have to do that. So I go with
Of
the
course,
D
of
as
course.
well. Edge device for AI and IoT. That's the correct answer. Congratulations. You won the first level of 1,000 emojis. Now with this one
Wow.
level,
Can I quit now?
sorry, what?
Can I quit now? Take the 1,000 emojis?
If you quit now, you get 1,000 emojis. But 1,000 emojis is not going to give you anything. You have to win
Okay.
1 million emojis in order to get our code and coffee package. This is important.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, don't
No,
forget
I'll-
about that.
yeah.
It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to give you a combination of coffee and coding in this gift hamper. So I'm curious how you're going to like it. It will be shipped to you if you win the show. And you have to
Okay.
win the show to let audience participate in the mega prize as well. Okay?
That's of course. Yeah.
All right.
I've got a responsibility.
Yes. All right. So let's bring the next question. Now the questions will be a little bit tough. Okay. You have to really think about it before you answer. As the level increases, we have difficult questions. So are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. Now a little bit intense music. What year was PLCopen founded? Now I know you're the managing director. You joined recently, if I'm not wrong. But I don't know if you read the history about this. So let's see.
Long
Option
time ago.
A, 1950, or B, 1992, C, 2010, or D, 2005.
Oof. Well, I'm not sure 1950 would have been the right time to standardize PLC programming. I think Alan Bradley wasn't even born yet.
Okay.
It's well, he was born, I guess, but no, they weren't working on it back then.
Okay.
And we are launching a new website in a few months.
Okay.
And we have this big news item that we had to transfer because a few years back there was the 30-year anniversary of PLCopen,
Okay.
where my predecessor, Mr. Ilko van der Wal, who built the organization, of course, with the help of our members. And it was fun. Most of our members made a nice video. So there were videos from Siemens, Beckhoff, Codesys management, thanking PLCopen for working together, for bringing the parties together, and improving industrial automation in a sense.
Okay.
So that's gonna be just one option left.
That's right. When you say 30 years ago, few years ago, then I can imagine what could be your answer.
It's gonna be answer B. Yeah.
All right. Let's go with the answer B. That's right. 2,000 emojis. Great, Roeland. It's great to be in a company knowing the history behind it.
It is. It is.
All right. Let's continue with the next question. Which major automation vendors follow PLCopen standards? I'm sure you know it by heart, but let's see.
I would say all of them, because
All of
if you
them.
don't, you still call yourself a major automation vendor.
Okay, let's see what are the
That's-
options. Option
Yep,
A,
exactly.
Siemens, Rockwell. So there are just two of them I mentioned here. B, Tesla and SpaceX. C, Apple and Google. Or D, Rolex or Gucci.
Well,
They all are
Let's
major
see.
major companies.
they all are major companies, but are they all major automation vendors? I don't know.
That's the question.
And that's the question. That's the question. And even the automation vendors can do an even better job than they've been doing so far,
Yeah.
of course, by implementing our standards and specifications.
Yeah.
Rolex and Gucci.
Yeah, I mean, the world is getting crazy. You never know. Rolex also has some PLCs where they're all following the standards to make their watches. I don't know.
It might be, but I'm hoping the Rolex is still made by this professor-looking guy with
Oh, really?
a big glasses and doing it by hand.
Okay.
I'm quite sure that in the Tesla factories, a lot of PLCs are used. However,
right.
they are not making it. They are using
They're using
the
it.
standards that are being implemented by Siemens and Rockwell.
That's right.
But all of these companies, I am 100% sure, are using PLCs.
100%.
And all of them have some of our motion control specifications in them.
That I can totally
So,
believe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a Rolex, there is a watch, whereas clock is ticking, there is a motion there. Tesla, SpaceX,
Yeah.
there's always a motion. In Apple, Google, I'm not sure. Maybe some of their product also has motion standards.
Yeah. Well, they all have some factories, and your phone
Yeah.
still needs to be produced.
That's
So in
right.
those factories, the PLCs are there and are controlling the important work and controlling the
That's
movements.
right.
And so it's the automation vendors. It's gonna be A, but they're all
Siemens.
using it.
All right, that's
Yeah.
right. So you go with A?
I'll play for answer A.
All right, let's see. So computer, let's log A. That's correct. 4,000 emojis. Roeland,
Getting somewhere.
you are just 8 questions away from the winning prize. You're doing very good.
Nice.
So-
Thank you.
Are you ready for the next one?
Let's see.
I can see you're breathing very deeply.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder. I think I'm through my knowledge.
All right, let's carry it on. What is the purpose of PLCopen XML exchange format? This is a tricky one, okay? So think before you answer. The first option is sending memes across PLCs. Today is a meme culture. A lot of people are sending memes. You never know if PLC also started that. I also do a lot of memes in my LinkedIn. Or is it option B, converting ladder logic? Because most people are now not using ladder logic, they're switching. Maybe they use it to convert.
Well, it's the least understandable of all programming languages, so it would be a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it option C, standardizing PLC data? Could be a very competitive answer. Or D, making PLCs talk.
Oof, well, it's about an exchange format, so you'd think D, right?
I mean,
Making PLCs talk.
nowadays using ChatGPT, you can talk to your phone. You can talk to the ChatGPT and communicate. If you put something like that in your PLC, you can say, hey, turn off this output, read the sensor input. You can talk to them and they can talk with each other.
Yeah.
Could be.
And then we don't need any programmers at all anymore.
No.
Because everybody can be a programmer then.
Yeah, PLC will program itself just by talking. This would be a
That is true.
good way to go.
Oh. So then it should be A and B put together, I guess. But that's
Sending
too
me.
many answers for your show. Converting ladder logic, I'm all for it,
Okay.
but I'm afraid they won't. Because there's still a lot of people that are smart enough to understand ladder logic and they actually prefer it. So
Right.
the old school guys are gonna keep using it. So it must be about standardizing PLC data. And if I'm thinking about that, it might just even be that the goal is that you can copy paste your application
Right.
from one system to another, plug and play,
Right.
and make those things easy without having to recreate your application on a new system.
I believe you can also not just copy paste the code, but also the variables that you declare using the XML data. Could also be one purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are also now the ISC organization has taken over the responsibility of the XML exchange format,
Okay.
working on a second edition because, as you know, things never work for 100% in automation.
Right.
So they keep improving on the standard, but this is absolutely the goal, that you can copy your application, including your variables, so you can just plug and play on your new machine and
Okay, that's
without having to do anything with the code.
so you go for
so
C.
Yeah.
All
I'll play for C.
I have a good imagination that it's also C. Let's check it out. That's right. 8,000 emojis. 7 more questions, Roland. It's getting closer. Getting closer
but it's also getting more difficult.
to your coded coffee. Yeah. That's the aim. You know, we have to make some tensions in the show so that you're not so comfortable answering everything.
Well, you're doing well.
All right, let's begin with the next one. Which of these best describes PLCopen safety standard? Now you're from PLCopen. You can tell me why safety standard is important in PLCopen.
Well, safety standard in PLCopen is not important so much, but a safety standard to be used in factories is, of course, extremely important.
Okay.
And also there, people can do it in their own way, but it needs to be interoperable and standardized so that if you switch from employer, you will not have to be trained in everything from the start. You will know how it works and you have a safe working environment right away.
Right. Okay.
And it focuses on what safety is supposed to be, on alarm systems, on just making an environment safe to work, because many factories, the robots, the machines, it's quite easy to get hurt if you don't follow the safety regulations.
Okay.
Bit of a boring answer, but
I mean, I think you already answered the question, but I'm still happy to show you the options.
Again. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Is it option A, safe programming guidelines? Or is it option B, add laser shields to PLCs?
Oof.
Or is it for crash-proof control rooms, so you don't crash your control rooms? Or is it D, prevents coffee breaks?
Prevents coffee breaks. That's not improving safety, I think. That's
I mean,
that's
if you don't have coffee breaks, you are always next to the machine to ensure safety. Could be. I don't know.
Okay.
So you're not allowed to go out.
Yeah, I would say people need a coffee break every now and then to have to be able to work safe afterwards.
I see. But
Because
what
you will fall
happens
asleep.
during the coffee break could be catastrophic.
Yeah. Maybe push the red button before you go on a coffee
Yeah.
break and make sure the machine stops.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think coffee breaks are a very good thing. Laser shields, nice.
I mean,
Nice,
you
not
never
sure.
know what could happen on the shop floor, no? Laser shields.
Anything if you're at SpaceX.
If somebody is
Anything.
coming with a screwdriver doing something on the PLC, it needs some protection, you know? Some safety.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
laser shields totally
definitely.
make sense to me.
They totally do make sense. But I am not allowed to lose.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go for the boring answer again.
All right. So let's go with the boring
Answer
answer.
A.
What's the answer? A. Safe programming
That's A.
guidelines.
Programming guidelines,
Like you
yes.
mentioned before. That's correct. 16,000 emojis. You're doing very good. I have to show you again. You are already 6 questions away from winning the mega prize, and you have 2 lifelines that you can always use: audience poll and double dip. It's my duty to remind you.
Yeah,
So,
of course. Yeah.
all right. Now, moving on with the next question. Whew. Okay. Which IEC standard is globally recognized for programming industrial controllers? I know we talked about it, but let's see. Where do we get from here? Option A, IEC 61850, or IEC 61508, or IEC 61131-3, or IEC 61499.
I recognize 2 of them. Well, I kind of recognize them all, but as you already mentioned, I'm not in the industry for so long, so I don't know them all by heart. But I've mentioned it a few times already, right? And we've
Right.
been in the work team for the 4th edition. I'm guessing it will take another few months. People who don't know yet, making a specification like that, a standardization, takes many years and
That's
many
right.
smart programmers to get it done.
Mhm.
So they've been working on this project for about 5 years.
Mhm.
And it's now up for review
Okay.
globally.
Okay.
Globally, so the IEC has some people responsible to check it all over the world.
Okay.
They send in some comments, and then the project group works on those comments again, gets released for again, and then when everyone is happy and everyone has given their comments, it's time to be released. So hopefully
wow.
in the next few months that will be
So that's
that will
the
be
process,
the case.
how you work in the background when you're talking about standardizations.
Absolutely. I think the toughest thing in standardization is to think of what is important in the industry in 5 years from now.
Okay.
And with the developments going as fast as they are going at the moment, it's really tricky to know what will be important 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Okay. But tell me something, when you said instruction list is gone from one of the key programming languages, is there something new that you're going to integrate? Because I see these days many people are preferring high-level languages for the programming.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, we will be sticking with the few languages that represented in the IEC 61131.
Okay.
And the main reason is making it easy for everyone. And the industry has been working with PLCs and programming the PLCs with PLCopen motion control, PLCopen safety specifications for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So we see another adaptation in the field that's enormous. So we are working, or I have to say the industry is working on information models and communication so that from your PLC you can do even more.
Okay.
because the high-level languages are being used for robot controls.
Mhm.
However, in the coming months, PLCopen will release a new motion specification
Okay.
based on the SRCI, which
Mhm.
is the standard robot command interface
Yeah.
developed by Siemens and
Right.
about 20 robot suppliers.
Okay.
And that enables you to control your robot from the PLC.
That's interesting.
So the person who has been working on those PLCs for years and years now has the ability to also control the robot and skip the robot controller
That's interesting.
and just program it in the way he's been programming things all his life.
Wow. Do you have any use case of that in your website where a user can download and see?
At the moment, not. We're still working on the specification.
Okay.
It would be very nice to take a look at the SRCI page on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
I know that somewhere in the next 2-3 weeks they are giving another webinar, which is completely free to follow.
That's
And they
interesting.
dive into a bit of the details of what they did with all these robot suppliers who are now also, the implementation is growing and growing.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I have always
It
used
is.
robot controller to program the robot, never used SRCI commands or the interface. So I'm very curious how it's coming up in the next years.
Yeah. It's exciting times.
All right. So what do you think?
I feel I'm not gonna waste my backup cheat codes here. I
Okay.
will go with answer C,
All
the
right.
IEC
Let's
631.
see. Very obvious one. So there you go. You
Yes.
won 32,000 images.
They will never take it away.
You have crossed the next level, Roeland. So if I show you the money
Yes.
tree again, now the minimum that you earn is 32,000 emojis. But these emojis are of no use. You have to win 1 million. Okay.
Yeah.
But still,
It
you will
sounds
get
a lot, but it's
30,000.
not enough.
If you want, you can use these emojis in your post or in your chats, but nothing more than that. But 1 million is going to give you the gift, code, and coffee. Let me remind you again. And for the audience, they will also get mega prize, which is Recomputer from Seed Studio. So you have to let audience win as well. This will be released
And
only when you run 1 million. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So you're only 5 questions left, right? The next question is for 64,000 emojis. Let's see what do we get here. What is a key advantage of PLCopen motion control blocks? Key advantage, right? Your options are A, less custom programming, or option B, allows PLCs to tweet, question C, or option C, makes PLCs waterproof, or option D, prevent overheating.
Ooh. Yeah. Excuse me.
Can't get tougher from here.
They do, and I'm always a bit weary when I see that there's a kind of an overlap in answers, because C and D kind of have to do with each other, right?
Makes PLC waterproof.
Making them
Yeah, that's
waterproof
true.
first,
Yeah.
and then you can prevent them from overheating by having a water cooler effect.
That's right. I mean, you can use motion control to control the fan, which prevents the overheating of the PLC.
Absolutely.
And now speed controlling of a
Absolutely.
fan, and then PLC is not overheated.
I think it's about time I ask your AI audience.
Oh, so you
for
would
some
prefer an audience poll
Let's go.
or a bots poll, I would
And
say.
I hope they help me better than the 50-50, because
All right, we can have a
Okay.
shot. So let's try this lifeline. So there you go. The bots are thinking hardly to find the right answer for you, and we'll see what do they get. Oh,
That's close.
that's very
And
close.
You see,
They
C
were,
and D
they
are
were
almost the
hearing you.
same.
They listened to you
Yeah,
when you told
I'm-
us
I'm-
CD.
Oh, yeah. Well, but because they are all so close, I'm gonna skip my gut feeling and I'll just go with the highest of them
I would do the same.
and cross my fingers and I hope that it works. So I will go for A
All right, let's try.
because the boss told me.
Less custom programming. I mean, when I was programming PLCs, it did make sense to use control blocks because I can
Yeah.
use it again and again to use in my main code. So this is the correct answer. Roeland,
Yes.
congratulations, 64,000
Ah,
emojis.
getting so close.
Getting very close. 4 questions to your final winning prize. And you have one more lifeline, double dip, where you can give 2 answers. One of them has to be correct.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. The next question. What is the role of PLCopen in Industry 4.0? Your options are A, prevents hacker attacks, or bridge IT and OT, or option C, send memes across MQTT, or option D, replace ladder logic with AI.
I like that one's coming back over and over again
Yeah.
because D would be the right way to go in my my point of view.
Well,
That would be
I would say
Yeah?
every programmer has some preferences to program in a specific language. I had a discussion on LinkedIn. I was reading a discussion. There are many people favoring ladder logic for the people who just know relay logics. For them, it's very easy to understand that. And I'm wondering if you replace that with AI, for sure there will be some improvements, but the basic understanding of how logic works will be gone from these factory technicians who don't know high-level programming.
yeah.
But I don't
No,
know
you
if-
might be right. And
Yeah.
they also the experts in ladder logic are electricians, right? They
Right.
cannot just program your PLC. They can also make sure that the light in your living room works just the same
Right.
as in your bedroom.
And also
which
the-
is
yeah.
yeah.
And also
Yeah, so
those-
I guess
I was talking about also the safety circuits, which are hardwired. They are mostly relay logics.
absolutely,
Could also
absolutely. Yeah, and without ladder logic, the industry would not be where it was now
Yeah. that's
because
true.
all the high-level languages we're just not there and not possible in the old days. So yeah, no matter what you say, we're all working on a foundation that's built with ladder logic.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah.
And what about hacker
um,
attacks? Is PLCopen
Well,
also
I'm
working?
afraid. No, because we have the safety specification, but we don't have a security specification.
Okay.
And as we are so open and free, and we are here just to give everything away what we can, is that hacking would be probably the most. We're a very easy target for hackers.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm afraid so, but we will never get hacked because we give it away. So there's no reason to hack PLCopen. You'll just send us a mail, ask for something, and you'll get what you get, and you get what you want.
But I've seen in one of your one of your posts, I think PLCopen also works quite closely with OPC Foundation. Is that
Yeah.
right? So you might
Yeah.
be a bit secure when you use OPC UA as a network.
Absolutely,
Compared
we
to
do
Mongoose.
have an OPC UA client specification.
Okay.
And as soon as you implement that, of course, you can also take advantage of all the advantages that OPC UA and the security that
Right.
OPC UA brings.
Right.
Which is the companion specification is will cover that for your PLC as well, for your
Okay.
PLC Open Motion. And memes, I still have to really get into that. I'm, yeah.
I mean, everybody's
I
allowed to
think-
have fun. I mean, if we are doing memes as a human, why not electronic devices? They can also talk some
I saw
nerdy
that,
memes.
yeah, and I saw your toy,
My,
yourself as a toy.
my toy, which one?
Yeah, yourself as like an action toy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe you should send me that code. Then I can go and make one for myself
I'll send you
and,
that.
and get into it. Yeah. No, and thinking about these questions, the bridge between IT and OT, I think it is going on already,
Okay.
and it will be going on for the next few years.
Okay.
Also working on interoperability between different systems and just, yeah, I think the lack of people working in OT, because there are just so much fewer people working in OT than IT,
That's true.
could become an issue if we don't bridge that gap and make
Aha.
sure that we can work together more than we did in the past.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you would go for
Yeah.
option B.
I will go for option B, IT and OT.
Right. Let's see if this is the correct one. That's right.
Took some time to think. Yeah.
Ronald, 125,000 emojis. 3 cushions away to your final prize. Still with 1 lifeline. Great, you're doing very good. I'm very happy.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. All right, let's go to the next question. Oh, this is a tough one. What makes PLCopen motion control better? Your first option, reusability of function block, or slows machine motion, or C, prevent breakdowns, or D, allow PLCs to play music.
Ooh.
Motion control.
Yeah. Motion control. So it B sounds quite logical.
That's logical because there's a motion in the answer.
That's
Easy
it,
guess.
right? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
And
remember
we're
when,
always
I remember when we were young in the school, we got this quiz and we always see which is the closest answer to the question. Okay, it says motion, let's click this one.
That's it. But I will think about it a little longer,
Right.
because
You have all the time that you want. No time stress.
yeah, I think preventing breakdowns is absolutely something that is taken into account when programming your PLCs, right?
Okay, that's right.
There's a lot of time and money and effort lost during a breakdown.
That's true.
So, yeah, we definitely help with that. So I think it might even be what makes PLCopen motion control best.
You can also think in a way when it says allows PLCs to play music. I mean, PLC can control the robots, and robots can do the music if you control their motion in a better way.
Absolutely.
Like a robotic arm playing a piano or a guitar or drums.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
inclined to playing music.
Are you not trying to confuse me?
I'm just trying to show you the possibility of any answer. Slows machine motion. If it's too fast, you also need to slow down somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. But I heard you say at a previous question that you like to use the function blocks from PLCopen because you can reuse them time and time over and over again without having to program the whole thing.
That's right.
So I'm guessing, because I'm talking to a smart programmer, that the reusability of function blocks is most important out of these 4 options.
So would you go for A, or
I will.
You will go for A. All right.
I will go for A. Yeah, no, I'm saving my helpline.
Let's see if it's the correct one. There you go! 250,000 emojis. I mean, have you ever thought in your life you will have so many emojis in your bank account?
No, well, I've got some friends on WhatsApp where I
Oh.
sometimes think, well, quit sending me a million emojis, but never thought I would win them.
I also remember that time when there were some text messages in WhatsApp groups and you don't talk, but you put emojis with the big text or some icons all created with emojis. That was a
Yeah. I
strange
heard
time.
that even the U.S. defense minister
No way.
goes that way about telling
Really?
people about a text. Yes.
All
Yes.
right, Ronald, just 2 more questions and 1 lifeline. So, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Next question for 500,000 emojis on your screen. There you go. Why is PLCopen safety standard valuable to manufacturer? Option A, helps avoid robot rebellions. Quite competitive option. B, ensures fail-safe processes. C, avoids catastrophic means. Or D, add airbags to sensors.
Yeah. It's getting there. Helps.
500,000 emojis, Ronald. You can't give a wrong answer here. A lot of people are watching you. They want to win this prize, so be careful. This is a difficult one.
Yeah.
I mean, robots rebellions. We are going there. We are close to this scenario.
We are getting there, and I am. My biggest challenge in my job is to find out what we're doing in 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So a specification that we are working on now will absolutely help avoid robot rebellions, because that's what we're all most afraid of for the future.
Because I see robots are now integrated with AI. They are deciding for
they're
themselves.
all integrated with AI. They're getting smarter. They're getting stronger. And there are coming more and more and more of them.
I'm back.
So it's becoming a dangerous world. We need to avoid them from rebelling.
That's true.
So that's what it was one of the easier topics for us, because we always want to avoid that.
Okay.
So then just the 3 become, because it is a valid point, but for the future.
Okay.
And I think adding airbags to your sensors wouldn't make sense. You just need to also use our motion control specification so that your sensors do not need airbags.
Okay.
Right? That would be best.
Okay.
So it's between B and C.
Between B and C. Avoid means.
Yeah, B and C.
Why do you think it's C?
How could it be C?
I mean,
Safety.
How could a meme be catastrophic?
I don't know. It can be dramatic. It can be.
Is there some secret code inside the meme that could cause problem?
Oh, like a Trojan horse meme.
Like a QR code in the meme, when it gets scanned.
Yeah.
And some messages going. I remember one episode from Black Mirror I saw in the last days. And there was a guy who was always on his computers since, 20, 30 years. And it's a funny story if I'm allowed to share.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so once he was in a store and he was stealing a beer. And then the police came and they caught him and they checked his records. And he was in a high red alert profile. So they immediately arrested him and bring him to the interrogation. And there, he always asked for a paper and pen. And they were asking him several questions. Why did you kill that person, blah, blah, blah. But he said, I just need a paper and pen. And they said, no, you will not get it.
I
And
remember.
they keep on pushing him with discussions, just admit that you killed that guy, that person. And he said, no, I just need a paper and pen, then I will answer all the questions. So what he did in the end, he got the paper and pen because it was very annoying. And then he drew a QR code. And then he put it on the screen. And there was cameras for sure in the interrogation room. And the camera scanned this QR code. And this QR code has some, I don't know, malware or some virus codes hidden inside, which spread a very high frequency tone in the mobile phones, in the TV screens, everywhere in the world, and everybody died.
Quite a dramatic example, but I've actually seen the new Black Mirror episodes myself. They're all a bit dramatic, of course.
Okay.
So that might be taken into account as well with the new specification, because you're kind of scaring me now.
You have a double dip. For sure you can get two answers.
And then I'll just... This one seems the most dangerous and the most pressing, right? Because the Robot Rebellion will take a few years. So I'll go with B and C.
B and C.
And then I'll just hope that the last question is easy enough that I don't need...
So you use the lifeline, you said?
Yeah.
All right. So double dip, we're going to activate. All right, it is activated. What's your first answer?
B.
B is your first answer?
Yeah.
All right. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Fail-safe processes. What is a fail-safe process, Ronald, in your understanding?
A fail-safe process. Well, I think most important about a fail-safe process is our health situations for the people working around the robots.
Okay.
So the fail-safe operations have less to do with your machine that keeps on working and your process that keeps on processing. Mm-hmm. It has more to do with the operators around you and the technicians being able to have a safe working environment.
That's right.
And to make sure that if something goes wrong in the in a factory, in a production line, in a packaging line, that the machine stops in time before fingers and toes are lost.
Okay.
Or
so even if the process fails, the environment is safe enough that everybody's doing good, nobody's harmed.
And that's the main goal. Just health and safety. Yeah.
Okay. I would love to read more about your PLCopen safety standards on the website. I have a little bit idea, but it's always good to keep updating my knowledge. So like you said, you have a lot of downloads available on the website. Anybody can do that, or do I need to sign up for that?
The nice thing is that you can just go on the website, go to the downloads tab.
Okay.
And you can look up any specification that has been released, of course.
Okay.
And for people listening who want to know even a little bit more and get a little bit more inside information, then you need to be a member of PLCopen. We don't have private memberships. They are all company memberships.
Okay.
And your contribution fee is depending on how many people are working at your company in the field of industrial automation. And if when you're a member, I think one of the big advantages is, of course, you can be in the projects group, participate, and therefore influence where our next specification is going.
Okay.
And very important for many companies, even many companies who don't realize it yet, could be the certification process that we have.
Okay.
So when a company releases a new product, a new PLC, it can be certified on either safety specifications or the PLCopen motion control.
Okay.
And that shows the industry, shows your customers and your potential customers that you are using the standard in the way that it is supposed to be used.
Okay.
Which means interoperability, reusability,
got it,
and all the good things that come with standardizing.
Okay. And tell me about, do you know any company which is not following PLC open standards? Or is everybody's following you, whosoever existing in this PLC market?
There are definitely companies not using it, but they are working on a different field, right?
Okay.
They because, for example, the like you had in a previous question, Rolex and Gucci,
Yeah.
they will be using something to maybe to pack their products.
Okay.
But on the other hand, they need other details that are not so much used in industrial automation.
Okay.
So you might not use our specification.
Okay.
But let's say that all the major players in industrial automation absolutely use the PLC open standards for
Okay.
motion, for safety, for logic. Yeah.
And do you also offer standards for how the programming should be done in ladder logic, FBD, structured text?
There are some recommendations. We've worked on those recommendations with the members, and they are written in a certain language.
Okay.
However, there is no duty to use one or the other language.
Okay.
What we did do is, because the quality of software is also very important. You can write something in a very elaborate way, which makes your program efficient,
Okay.
or you can be smart about it and make it very efficient and fail-proof.
Okay.
So we have also the PLC Open Coding Guidelines that's been released over a few years ago.
Okay.
And a more recently released document is the I'm thinking it's the software quality metrics.
Okay.
The PLC software quality metrics gives you a way to check the quality of your programming, of your software.
Oh.
Which is, of course, very important to find out where it can be improved upon and make
Okay.
it as efficient as you can.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
one question. Now that we're talking about programming standards, I was checking out some possibility of using AI in programming. For example, Siemens has Copilot, which helps you to program. So you don't have to write the code yourself. The AI is doing it. Do you think the AI knows PLC open standards, or is it doing its own stuff?
I think the Copilot from Siemens definitely would know the PLC open standards because they are using them. They've been implemented in many systems.
Okay.
So the AI bot should know that in detail, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to know, I asked you this question because I was wondering, does people need to know these standards, or they can use AI because AI anyways knows these standards?
I think people should use the standards themselves and not rely on AI too much, because what I've seen myself from using AI is that it's an incredible tool that can do lots and lots of stuff that we cannot do and much faster, but it still makes mistakes.
That's right.
And so if you only use AI, you will never learn and you will make a lot of mistakes without knowing what's wrong.
Okay.
So no, you should always use the standards and make sure you know yourself, and then you can use AI as a tool to make life a little bit easier.
That's right.
I think
just
that's the way
wanted
to go.
tell the users, go ahead, open the website, check out what PLC Open is doing. Maybe you get some useful information for your next programming project.
Yeah.
All right, final question, Roeland. We are reaching the final question, which will give you code and coffee gift hamper. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's find out.
All right. The next question for 1 million emojis. How does PLC Open help with PLC interoperability? I know you were talking about that a lot, So it should not be that difficult. Let's see. Option A, same color screens. I wonder what that means. B, prevents handshakes between PLCs. Option C, engineers only use one PLC type. Or option D, standardized software models.
Yeah.
1
Same
million
color
languages.
screens. Yeah, same color screens. It helps with confusing, perhaps with eyesight. I don't know.
Could
No,
be
I don't know.
something with the HMIs. I don't know what computer wanted to ask.
Let's see.
Prevent
The engineers.
handshakes.
Yeah, preventing handshakes. I don't know between PLCs because I think you should do the opposite.
Yeah. we
And
should
make
do
sure that the PLC can handshake as much as they want to.
That's right.
And the communication between PLCs should be all open and used frequently.
It could
So it must
also
be
be preventing automatic handshakes so that PLC don't just talk to each other by themselves. Should be some manual control that, hey, I only allow these people to talk, PLCs to talk. It will also save some network traffic. If every PLC start talking to each other, the network will be full of signals, unnecessary signals. It could be in that direction. But still, I'm not sure.
No.
Engineers only use one PLC type.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Because in one PLC, you use our one standard.
And it's
And
easy
then
to
you're always
replicate
okay.
as well. You can easily copy-paste the program.
From one PLC to the same PLC.
Yeah, you can multiply, you can scale easily.
Yeah. But I think keyword must be interoperability. And one PLC is not enough for interoperability.
That's right.
So I'm taking C off the board. I'm taking A off the board because I don't understand.
Okay.
And I think we had a useful discussion about B. So it must be that we're standardizing software models that improves PLC interoperability. It must be.
What is PLC interoperability for audience who doesn't know about?
In a very broad sense, the interoperability means that no matter which brand your PLC is, you can use it in the same way. So if you are a machine builder and you've always bought your PLCs from vendor A, who is using PLC standardization, you can always switch to one of the other big players who are also switching or using PLC standardization. And you don't have to train your employees because they already know how it works.
So they already know the programming, the way it has been programmed because it's standardized. So you can easily move from one to another.
Standardized look and feel. It's a standardized naming conventions. It's all really easy to understand. So you learn one and you know all.
All right. Okay.
So I'm getting nervous. It's the final one.
It's the final one. And everyone is watching you, hoping that you get them a recomputer and for yourself a good timer.
Yeah, that's why I feel the pressure. I'll go for it. I'll go for answer D.
Answer D.
Standardized software models. Yes.
Standardized software models. All right, let's log answer D. 1 million emojis, Roland. What you will do with so many emojis?
I will send them in one WhatsApp message to that one annoying person.
Okay, let's see if it's the correct answer. There you go! Woohoo!
Yes! Let's go!
There's music going on in the background which you can't hear, but 1 million emojis. Congratulations! You have
Thank you so
won
much.
the show. You're the first person. You're the first person to win the show.
To reach 1 million.
To reach the million. This is the first episode,
yeah,
and you won the show. Congratulations! How do you feel?
I feel relieved and proud.
Oh,
And
that's great.
very
mean,
well done, Rajvir.
To be
It
honest,
was really
have you?
nice to be
To be
invited by
honest,
you.
have you ever thought that one day in your life you will be on a show like this and you will win the show? How is the feeling?
I would not have thought that. No, no.
I mean,
I
we
never
just
would have thought.
yeah. I mean, we just met in SPS last year, and now you're sitting here who won the show. It's crazy. I mean,
With the biggest industrial automation influencer and still winning. It's
not the biggest, but yeah, I'm
how
trying
life
my
can
best.
go.
I'm trying my best.
The biggest soon then.
All right. So with this 1 million emojis, I'm very happy to offer you Code and Coffee gift hamper. I will write you some details about how you can get it. Just need your address and I will ship it to you. And I'm very curious how you're going to like it. So feel free, once you have this package, send me a photo or maybe just tag me on LinkedIn that you have received it.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very happy for you that you joined me and sharing your time and knowledge with us on this first ever The Logic Gate show, focused towards winning, having fun, and learning a lot. So thank you also for sharing your knowledge about PLCopen. Many of us don't know about that. And I was also very not sure once you told me, you remember the moment we were in SPS and you told me you're from PLCopen. I was like, oh, but I know OpenPLC. Is it related?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, what is OpenPLC? So, I mean, I heard about PLCopen, but I was not so deep inside it. But from you, I learned a lot today. I hope many audience also learned a lot from your PLCopen knowledge and your experiences. And thank you very much for joining the show. Do you want to say anything before we do the closing?
I've had a lot of fun, Rajvir. Thank you a lot for inviting me and for creating this great show. I hope we have a lot of success with it for the coming weeks or months. Exciting to see who's next.
I already have two guests lined up. You will get to know it soon.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be watching that and hoping they win as well. Of course, who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, no, it's been lovely, Rajvir. Really nice
to very happy to hear that.
Chance.
Thank you, Roeland, and I wish you a great day. And I hope you have sun in your area, and you can enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see each other hopefully very soon in some other fair on other messe.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you, Rajvir.
Thank you,
have a good one.
Thank you. Have fun.
Bye.
So that was Roeland. He just joined the show and he won it. 1 million emojis and a gift hamper. But now that you are with us in this whole show, I have something for you. So let me announce you, we have a giveaway, and there's a giveaway challenge. So you can win this Re-computer from Seed Studio, which is a Raspberry Pi based IoT gateway and controller, AI capable. And in this giveaway, you can participate by just commenting below this video about your favorite moment and how would you like to use Re-computer. You just have to enter these two questions. Favorite moment, how would you like to use it? And based on your answer, we will shortlist some of the candidates, and these candidates will have a random winner. We'll be announcing this winner after 30th May, which is the deadline. So make sure you participate before time and comment below the video, and don't forget to use the hashtag #LogicGateShow and #CodeandCompile. All right. Thank you for joining. And with this, I would like to say this was amazing having you here. And there are more guests coming in. I'm going to invite many people who is going to play with me. The Logic Gate show will have more prizes, more giveaways. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next show. Bye. So, Roeland, this is for you. Like I promised, you win the show. I opened the beer. One of my favorite beer, by the way. There you go. Cheers to it.